Welcome to Amberg Acres. So we got some warm weather coming, 50-ish, which is better than what we've had the last couple of weeks. And so I'm up here on the barn. I'm trying to get some of this trim work done. Now I don't remember showing you this on the other videos. This piece of trim that goes here where the siding tucks up. So on the other side of the barn, over there where there is no lean-to, that the piece was up here. Okay, this piece of trim was up underneath here, kind of like a drip edge on a regular house, and then you leave a gap and your siding tucks up underneath there. But because we're going to continue a lean-to out here, I'm moving it down to this board right here, this lower board. Let me see if I can get that in the. I'm going to move it down to this lower board right here. So the issue with that is now I got to trim it a little bit, or I got to notch it basically. So I have a board here, a 1x4 that I'm going to stick behind there. All right, and then I'll mark it and I'll cut it and we'll attach it. All right. So I trimmed this piece. I had to trim it around the truss down there and around this truss right here. And I wish I could back you up a little bit so you could see this better, but let me just turn the camera. So you can see I had to trim this corner right here. Now the 1x4, so the 1x4 right here, this is just there to set my gap, to keep this gap underneath here. And that's where the metal's going to tuck up under there. So as long as I got a halfway decent fit there, I can take and I can get a nail started on this one here. Just like so. And then I'm going to go down and put a nail down on the other end to hold it in place. Okay, so now I'm just gonna slide down and nail this in. Now there's plenty of flex in this thing, in this piece. So this 1x4 is just, as long as I'm close, you'll have plenty of room to tuck your metal up underneath there. If I kind of follow this edge on this 2x4 here and keep it straight, we should be okay. Because once I take this 1x4 out of here, it's going to kind of flip down a little bit. That's what it did on the other side when I did this. So you know, it's supposed to get to like 45 today and then 50-ish tomorrow or something like that. But it's still chilly out here, you know, and you're sitting up here on this cold wood. It's still chilly, you know, to work. I don't know how these guys do it year round working. I know they have better clothes than I have, but you know, to do this stuff year round, it takes a special personality, I think, to do this kind of work. All right, so you get the idea. I'm going to go all the way down, get this piece nailed in, and then we'll come and show you the next step. Okay, so now that I got that piece on here, I got it all nailed in. All right, so the next step, I'm going to attach these 2x4s in here, in between my trusses. And I'll put one here and put another one right up here, okay? And then there's going to be a 2x10 that gets up here, and that's going to get leg bolted through into these posts. And that's what later on that we're going to attach the other trusses to, or not trusses, the other rafters for the lean-to are going to get attached to. So right now I'm just going to throw a screw in here to hold this one in place. Whoops. Not a nail, a screw. All right, just like that. And I'm going to put another one up against this purlin up here, and all that's doing is giving me something to screw that 2x10 into. That's all that's really doing. I could set the 2x10 on there and just leg bolt it into these posts, but I felt like there was too much of a gap there. There was nothing holding it in the middle, you know, when I put the other rafters on. So I'm adding this just to be a little bit stronger, I guess, is basically what I'm saying. So, all right, so let me get these two boards attached, and then we'll see how the 2x10 goes on. All right, so hopefully you get the idea what I'm doing here. I put the two 2x4s on here, and then I also put a 2x10 right in here, going vertically to connect all four of these. So I got the top purlin, this top girt, and then these two pieces I just put in there, they're all attached. Now, this is really solid. This isn't going to go nowhere. And then this 2x10 right here is going to get leg bolted onto the front of that yet. And that'll make a solid base for when we attach our rafters next year or whenever. And then the metal, the side metal, will come up and tuck into here. Okay. See, I missed a screw here. Okay. So this is where a second pair of hands would come in handy, probably. That'll go behind there, no problem. That'll look real nice underneath the lean-to, basically. Yeah. All right, get a couple of screws in, a couple of leg bolts, and this section is done. And basically, I just got to go all the way down this wall here and get this all up. And then once that's up, that's about it. I can start taking down my my brackets here, my catwalk that I made, and yeah, the rest will be next summer, and get siding up, and that'll be it. All right, guys, we are hanging our last piece here. We got her in all the way down. Let's take a look. So that's where the rafters for the lean-to will attach to. So once we're done with this, then I can remove all this catwalk, and we're ready for siding, to get the siding put on up here. So this side will be done. It'll be wrapped up shortly. So I am basically leg bolting this in with these big leg bolts. And that is every 3 feet I have that backer board here that I put on. So I'm going through that. I'm going through those 2x4s, and I'm going through that backer board, and that's kind of sandwiching everything together, holding it all together. So you almost got to pull the whole roof off to get, if you're going to try and get this thing off. And then in between those, where I don't have the backer board, I'm using the little 3-inch, and I'm just going through and into that 2x4 and sandwiching those two together. Probably overkill, but that's the way I build stuff. It ain't never coming down. All right, so I think that's it for today. Tomorrow we're gonna try and get, well, hopefully tomorrow we can get these catwalk down. Barb's been sick, so that's why she hasn't been out here helping drive the tractor or nothing. I'm sick too, but I still got to get the work done, so I'm out here. But seems like since I retired, every time we go somewhere, like last spring we went up to Four Seasons for a weekend for her birthday, and we went in the pool and talked to a lot of people, and and then we went out that night at the club there, and stuff. And the following week, I was sick as a dog, And now, last Saturday, we went to the sportsman's banquet down here, shaking hands with people, talking to a lot of people and stuff. And Monday, I was sick as a dog. So, I don't know. I worked all them years in the factory, and I barely ever got sick. And I've been sick every time we go somewhere now, and I don't know if it's because we're not out all the time anymore, that we're home here and not going anywhere, but it's kind of weird, but whatever, it is what it is, like I always say. So all right, we're gonna wrap this up, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. All right, guys, so we are gonna be laying out our first service door here today. Now, a lot of these things you're gonna see me doing, I get my ideas from this guy on YouTube. He's R&R Builders. If you're gonna be building a pole barn, watch his videos. He's got a lot of good stuff on there. He's a contractor. He builds buildings all the time, so he's got tools that you're not gonna have. He's got little benders that he bends the metal with and all that stuff. And that's great. I mean, the guy is really good. He makes really nice buildings. But I don't have any of them tools and stuff, so you got to kind of work around what he shows you, But he's got some good tricks on there, for framing in doors, for how to hang the metal, all kinds of stuff he's got on there. If you're not sure what you're doing, just watch his videos, and it might give you an idea how you can do it on your project. So that's where I get a lot of these ideas from, how I'm doing this. So one of his tips was, when you lay out your service door or your window, you want it to be in the middle of a seam. So the service door is 36 inches, so your rough opening is about right under 41 inches. So each panel of metal takes up 36 inches. So if you center that on that seam, then your seam will be right above that door, and it won't end up at one of the edges where it could leak and water run down inside the door. So it should run into that channel, and then the channel will take the water off the sides, is what he's saying. And it makes sense, So I know for sure at 18 feet right here in the center is going to be one of my seams. So that's probably going to be too tight to put the door right here. Yeah, that's going to be, it's probably going to be too tight to this beam. So we're going to have to move it over to the next seam over. So I'm going to lay these out. I'm going to mark each 36 inches is the center. 36 inches is the center of the rib where the overlap is. So when you have the two pieces overlapping, the 36 inches is the center of that overlap, okay? So that's what I'm going to try and find, is the center of that piece that goes right here. Right, so that seam is at 18, this seam is at 15, so we're going to put the door right here at just 15. Yeah, that's 20 inches you're hitting the pole, you're into the pole if you put it there. So that isn't going to work. You could maybe shift it over a little bit, and the seam wouldn't be quite right in the middle, but you know, you're going to have to do some cuts here probably. What is that next one there? Yeah, you're going to be cutting this panel here anyhow, so you're probably better off doing it over there on that one, so you're not cutting that same panel twice, you know? You know what I'm saying? So, we're going to do it here. Right, so that is my rough opening, right there. And then there should be a seam right above it. So the other dimension is 80 and an eighth or something like that it is. Yeah, so we'll be right up here. We'll be right up here in the middle. So we're going to carry that up. We're going to carry that up all the way up to that top one there with a 2x4. Then we're going to put a 2x6 box around the door, and that will help if we insulate later on. That will help with that. So basically I got to carry these lines, get my level out here and carry these lines up through all these boards. And we'll get a 2x4 attached, and then we will we'll get a 2x6 box made up. All right, so I measured this out. I put my board on the inside, which is where the concrete's going to be, and then I put 2 blocks in here where the door is going, and then this is what I call, you've heard me mention the rat board. This is the rat board. So I'm going to pound this board in here, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like once I get it in there. And as always, I'm a little tight. Hang on a second. All right, let me show you this. So this is what I'm referring to as the rat board. It seals up the bottom, and now you can take your block of insulation, whether it be the wool, the rock wool, which is a stiffer one. So I was thinking I'd probably do, because the rock wool is so expensive, I'm thinking I would do the rock wool at the bottom, because it's supposed to be waterproof and it's stiffer, and put 1 layer of rock wool along the bottom and then do the rest with the regular fiberglass. But I haven't made that decision yet, so I got to go price that all out and stuff, and that's down the road a ways. So you're probably not gonna see that this year anymore. But that's what this is for. It blocks this off so that your mice and your rats or whatever, that's where it gets the word rat board from. They can't climb up. They have to chew through all that wood before they can get up into your insulation. And that's why I'm gonna go all the way around the building that way, with that rat board like that. And you know, right here I have to do a bunch of cutting because of the door. But once I get over here where there is no doors or anything, it's just a full length 9-foot piece that goes in there, you know. And I'll get that all done in a little bit here. So we're gonna just nail that in, and then that section is done, and I'll do this section here. Then I have to cut this piece out here because the concrete will come right up to this front board. Okay, so basically now I created the door frame out of 2x6s by rough opening, and I'm just gonna screw them into these girts, and then we come back later and we got to cut that girt out of there. Okay, but I got to put another board here and stuff yet, so just bear with me here a little bit. So I'm just temporarily holding it with the screws, making sure it's all lined up, that it's got everything measured right. These boards are all twisted. They've been sitting around here for a while. I stack them as best I can, you know, to keep them straight, but you know, the minute you take them out of the bundle, they start twisting and stuff. So everything's a little twisted, so I'm pulling it in with the clamp and trying to get it lined up. So the straighter you can get it to start, the better you're off in the end. There goes my battery. I will be right back. Alright, so I got that all screwed in nice. We'll check it with our level just to make sure. Looks pretty good. We're just gonna drive a few nails in. So now what they want me to do is they want me to put a vertical all the way up to that one. I would imagine it's just to help hold this all together better, you know. So that's what I'll do. I'll measure that one and cut that. I'll get one on each side, and then we have to fill this in right here between the girts before we cut it. Okay, so I got them nailed in, and the last thing is I gotta put a 2x4 there. So I gotta cut, oh, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 of them, 3 of them for each side, something like that. Nail them in. Then that's pretty much finished. I gotta notch this a little bit here to match the one on the other side here. So I gotta mark that and cut that. I think I'll probably just use a Sawzall for that. And then cut these out of here. So I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. Alright, last thing we need to do is take the old Milwaukee and slice and dice, or shake and bake, whatever you want to do. Actually an old Milwaukee sounds pretty good right about now. It's nice out today. I'm actually kind of working up a sweat. It's probably got to be getting close to 50, I would think. But yeah, so it's all framed in. Just gonna cut these out and we'll let her rip here. Okay, so I gotta figure out how I'm gonna notch this bottom one yet. I'm thinking a Sawzall will be probably the best way, but let me think about it for a little bit. All right, so there it is, notched out. A little rough, but you ain't gonna see that once the door is in there. And that's it. So what they tell me is because it's a pole building, a post frame, you don't need to make that big header like they normally do in a regular house because it's not a load bearing. There's no load right there. So that's what they tell me, that you don't have to make that big header like you do on a normal stick frame house. So that's the way it's going to be. The window is going to go right over here, and that's going to be basically the same way. I have to figure out the height there. I don't think it's going to fit right in that opening there. I think I got to box that out also. But I'm going to go check them measurements and we'll get going on that one next. So the window's framed in basically the same way. 2x6 all the way around, 48 by 48 rough opening. And then I took this board, hopefully you can see that, the long board, I went all the way up to the next girt and down to the grade board. And basically what that does is that ties these all together, so this window just ain't hanging in the opening, you know, it ain't just hanging there off of these girts. So it's kind of straps it in to that girt and down to your grade board. So that on both sides, and then you just fill in the spaces here, just like I did on the door. So that's all finished. I got one more door to do on the other end over there. There's no window on that side, so I'll get that done tomorrow, and we're good to go. What do I got to do yet? Well, I gotta finish the rat boards and knee braces and that type of stuff yet. I got to get that all done before we start hanging siding, I think, and then we'll be ready for siding. So I think that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something about putting in a door and a window in a pole barn. And you know, keep watching. There will be more coming.